Welcome back, everybody. The Lifestyle Balance Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Marcolini, with our co-host, Nick Azanari. And today we're here with Matt Sturino, Marketing Director at Spark Financial, tech enthusiast, and also fellow podcast host of Refreshing the Feed. Thank you for coming, Matt. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, bro. This is gonna be sick.
Yeah, I'm happy to finally have you. It's been a while. I've got to know Matt quite a bit now, and I know you're very enthusiastic when it comes to podcasting and all the fun stuff with social media. So I'm happy to get your point of view today.
Yeah, of course, man. No, I was saying before we even started, like, it's sick to see another person like where I was and where I am, sort of in the same situation. Like, I see so much of myself in you, and you probably see the same in me, right? So it's dope to like go back and forth like that. That's
exactly.
First time I met you, I was like, "Fuck, bro!" Like, we have the same tendencies, we have the same ideas, kind of vibe. It was dope. It was sick.
Exactly. And guys, so you all know this guy's like insane at pickleball. So if you're trying to verse him, I wish you luck. I haven't yet, so.
Yeah, bro. We just ran a tournament. I don't know if you saw
that.
Stories.
Yeah.
So
did you win?
Bro, honestly, we played so good. We destroyed the round robin, which was like 3 games, whatever. We destroyed everybody, and then we ended up playing an okay team. We beat them in the quarterfinals, semis. We played these guys that were. Can I swear on this?
Yeah.
These guys that were fucking cracked. Like they were the best pickleball players.
Pros.
Oh my god, bro. And then you're chilling there and you're getting destroyed by these guys and you're like, okay, why the fuck am I here? Like this is for charity. Like these guys are 15.
And they're going at it.
Bro, 15-0. They slapped us.
Wow. 50?
15.
Wow. I was like, 15, holy shit.
It's like I'm not having fun anymore. You know?
Wow.
Fuck. But yeah, I've been trying to get better, bro. Pickleball is like one of the North America's most trending sports right now.
It is.
There's a lot of hype around it, and I'm super excited to like get more involved. You know, play tournaments, fuck around. You know, get good at least.
Exactly.
Before everyone starts hopping on later, and then you're good, and everyone's like, "Oh, what is this?" You know.
Yeah. They think you started like 10 years ago and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Ahead of the curve. You know.
No, that's sick. It's been so popular. I noticed. Even like just at the gym, it's crazy. So imagine everywhere else. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll take it to get a little bit to know Matt first before we dive deep into the different sectors of what you do, your career, your passions, and all that.
Yeah.
So we'll just get to know Matt. Before work, let's say, before being, marketing director, what was your vision and what do you like to do on a day-to-day?
Yeah, like, so I might have told you before, I started with podcasting.
Yeah.
So Refreshing the Feed was my podcast. Well, if you want to go way, way back, it was called Your Sister's Favorite Podcast.
No way.
That was my OG one. Yeah.
I like that name.
Yeah. We were trolling back then, though, man. It was just audio. This was just before COVID, actually. It was 2018, 2019.
Wow.
I was 17 years old. I'm trying to grind out the pod and ripping like just straight audio episodes for maybe just over a year. We had maybe 52 episodes, something like that. And then I moved into Refreshing the Feed. I noticed that it was all a male audience.
Okay.
And I was like, I can't really, I have to get a bigger demographic, right? I can't just cater to males, which would have been cool, right? And thinking about it now, it was a little bit more niche, but I was like, let's try to cater to more people. So then we went to Refreshing the Feed, which was just like trend based.
Okay.
So we'd go around like what's hitting on socials, what's new, creators in the space, like trending topics, shit like that. But like I told you, we were doing like everything, like games, fun stuff, interviews, trends, whatever. We were going crazy with it. Then we had another 82 episodes of Refreshing the Feed, I believe. Yeah, so that's like just over, what is that, 132, 133? Yeah, so that was the beginning of my career. That's where I started to I started in architecture, long story short. I started in architecture, and then I really found my love for like creating through my podcast. Like the same principle applies, right? Like an interview show, like everything else I do is more in depth and more thought out rather than just the podcast. Because podcast is very like, I don't know how to put it, but it's very routine based.
Yeah.
Right. Like an episode, you have your structure and you evolve, but it's not like you have to reinvent the wheel every time.
Exactly.
You're not dealt with a different like hand.
Yeah.
Essentially, and that's when I started working like creatively, and I was like. Getting different projects and different like working with different influencers, I was like, fuck man, like this is pretty dope that I'm getting dealt like these different challenges, because the potter I was nailing down production wise. I was like, okay bro, we're good, I know exactly what to do, A to Z, whatever. Yeah But now that I'm doing creative stuff and it's like all different and I can adjust how I like and whatever, it was such an eye-opening experience, essentially.
Wow.
It made me really just switch over, and I was like, okay, it's time to rock and roll in this industry and see where we go, right? And it's my passion, and I'm really about it.
Yeah.
Well, fast forward now, so I finished podcasting, and I'm not finished, but pausing right now.
Taking a nice break.
Yeah, taking a break,
fair,
restructuring, things like that.
Yeah.
But I'm the marketing director for Spark. They hired me on. They hired me on actually because of my podcast.
No way.
Yeah, they saw some of the work
sick.
additional to that I was doing. I'd launched my own media company, which was basically just side work. It was a production house.
Okay.
I was doing like events, social media management, things like that.
Cool.
For maybe 3-4 months.
Nice.
And then Spark picked me up and they were like, listen, we like your work.
Yeah.
Let's run with it. And now we've evolved into so much. I've evolved with them. I've grown my knowledge to fucking unbelievable heights.
Wow.
With like working with CEO Nick and Mike and
shout out Nick and Mike.
Yeah, shout out the guys, man. Those are the guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I'm here.
Wow.
Basically, yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Is it all self-taught? All the marketing?
I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like when people when I made the switch, I have a degree in architectural technology.
Mm-hmm.
I have an advanced diploma in architectural technology. Then I went to school throughout COVID for film and media. It's media arts and film at York University. So I finished that. I got a bachelor's degree. I did it completely online. Bogus, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
It's at home passing time.
Right. It just to take my money, give me the paper. We'll call it an even trade.
Put it on the wall. We're good.
Literally, we'll just call it an even trade. But I'm gonna be honest. I've maybe learned out of everything that I know, I'd probably say 5% is from school.
Wow.
And the rest is all
Look at that.
YouTube tutorials, Skillshare. I'll big up Skillshare, man. Skillshare is a wonderful platform that like really helps you nail down software stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, I owe a lot of my my Photoshop skills, my Premiere Pro skills to Skillshare.
Wow.
I really do, yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, but that's bro, honestly, that's what it is. It's self-taught, right?
Yeah.
And then there's things that you really can't teach, like communicating with, I think the hardest thing, to be honest, is communicating with influencers that don't know their vision. They don't know what they want, and you're trying to like bring to life what they think they want. Does that make sense?
Exactly. That you said it the best.
Yeah.
Like we spoke with someone recently who was on, and it's like when you're always doing social media, if you hire someone out to do it or you have someone do it for you or whatever the case is, it's always hard to nail down what your vision is compared to who you have to do it for you or who works on it for you. Like everyone has their own vision. So I think that's always the biggest challenge. It's like if you're someone who understands social media and then someone like an influencer comes along and is like, this is my vision, but it doesn't make sense on your experience standpoint. It's like, how do the two collide, you know?
Yeah, and you see it, right? Like you can tell when an influencer, somebody you're working with, has like a lot of respect for creators, and like what they go through.
Yeah,
it's not really hardship; it's just more what they go through in terms of time and communication.
Yeah,
it's like you need to be able to communicate effectively, so I can nail down what your vision is, right? And if you can't do that, then it's just going to be a back and forth ping pong process. That's why I want to shout out to like graphic designers and logo artists especially.
Yeah.
That's the hardest shit, bro. I'll never do that.
Really?
Till my grave, bro, I'll never make logos, bro.
Why
Fuck
logos?
That. They are the hardest thing to nail down.
Yeah?
Out of everything I've done, the most back and forth ever is logos.
Because of the vision and the redoing and
everything.
all that shit?
Everything.
Wow.
Maybe that's because I'm not the best graphic designer.
No.
But you know what I mean?
I
like,
get what you're saying.
Even
Everybody
if I was
has like their own views on what they want.
Yeah.
And you never make anybody happy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, fuck, like how many times can we go back and forth before it's like, I've been on this project for 6 months, bro. You pay me $500 for a logo. I've been doing I put 70 hours into this logo. Like, what the fuck, bro? You know what I mean?
That logo must be like amazing at that point.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's because, bro, I'm telling you, it's because people fixate on themselves on the branding.
Yes, perfectionists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They fixate themselves on what the logo's got to look like. They think, oh, my logo is my identity. It's everything, which in some retrospect it is. I'll give you credit.
To an extent.
Yeah, but actually, it's kind of segueing a little bit to the Wealth Club. In there right now, as like sort of one of the major creators, along with this other guy, Jason. He's a fucking phenomenal creator as well.
Yeah, Jason from
Jay from MBH.
Yeah.
You know,
Jay.
Yeah, he's the best, man. Shout out Jay.
Shout out Jay.
So along with him, I'm sort of, we're the creators in the space and on the community, and we're trying to like give everybody tips on viral videos, how to shoot, condition yourself to be a better interviewer, things like that. And this week I've been talking about branding, right?
Okay.
Going back to what I was saying about the logos.
Yeah.
People fixate themselves on the logos and what it looks like and what the tagline is and how the color scheme. And it's like, bro, that's cool, right? Like, do what you got to do, get it done. Don't overwork that, because branding isn't a logo. And I've learned that the hard way.
Yeah, me too.
Branding really isn't a logo.
I feel you on that.
Yeah, and fucking what I preach to all the people that I work with, that are like, oh, I need a good brand kit. I need a good logo. I need a good. It's like fixing more time on your relationship with the public and your perception of your audience, like what the audience perceives you as, because a brand is not a logo. It's not a brand kit. A brand is how your audience perceives you and the people involved in your business or your product or whatever it is. It's not the actual fucking tangible. It's not the logo. Yeah, exactly. This is sick.
Yeah.
But people don't like, people think, oh yeah, I know what it is because of it. But people know it's Alex. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not. Yeah. It's not just the fucking logo. Yeah. You need that relationship. Yeah. That's why every great logo, every great company has a personality or a culture or a tribe behind it that they can follow and be immersed into.
Said it best. Said it best. Fine.
Yeah, but I've been preaching that for a while, man.
Yeah.
Very deep.
No, but he's right. Like, we learned it the hard way. I'm sure you can attest to that. It's like making logos and understand. Like, sometimes you get too fixated on it. You think it's the end goal and that's it. I think if that doesn't work, nothing's gonna work. And really, at the end of the day, you're right. It comes down to the community and how you perceive and how you work with them and how people remember you. The logo will come with it, I think. Yeah. You know, it's just a stamp on it, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I try to put that into like people's brains, but sometimes it's just the high level marketing knowledge is what people get, like myself, get paid for. Right? Yeah, because we do the research and we fucking we put in the time. To figure that shit out.
And to go back to that, when you were saying like how you basically self-taught in terms of marketing knowledge, I think in today's world, that's like almost, I think, 85% of the case. Most people who have a marketing position or doing something in social media in the world, it's all self-taught. Right. I think, for my
for us, it's all self-taught.
Yeah, like exactly. For our example, like no background, no nothing. We learned from. If you look at episode 1 to now, completely two different things. Yeah, two different productions, two different ideas, two different looks. Like, it just, the vision over time, speaking to people like yourself, understanding it, learning from videos and who's using what software, all that shit. It came down to like, okay, now we're gonna nail it. It's all about time at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly, man. You know? And like, yeah, you said it the best. It's when you get to like 50 episodes or whatever, like even that 35, right? 37 that we're on now. Yeah. You'll go back to episode 1 or 2. Like, fuck, you're like, you look at you like, fuck, this is gross. Like, what were we doing? Like, whatever. But that was it at the time, right? Like, that's what you knew at the time. Yeah. And then when you hit 100 episodes, shit's gonna be like, holy, this is like.
We'll look back at this and say, wow.
You know what I mean? And it's crazy, man. It's evolution.
It is.
That's all it is, and that's what's so good about it, is because it's all recorded. It's not like you're an artist where you have like a picture that you drew and then you lose it and that's it. When you were like 12 and now you're 24, you're a professional artist, now you're drawing fucking sick shit. You can do that same thing.
Exactly.
Right? It's like it's cool, man. It's cool to see.
Yeah, exactly. It's so true. It's nice. You can see, you can look back at it, be like, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that, or
literally. I do that with all my work, bro. Yeah. Everything. My photos, I'll look back and I slap some preset on back in the past and fucking made it look all wonky, contrast off the wall. Yeah. That's from like the photography side. But I'll look and be like, oh. Yeah. Like, oh, fuck, that's gross. But now it's cool to see and look back.
That's sick. So let's get into a bit of you being the podcast host, refreshing the feed up to date, you know? How, let's walk through like Matt's production. What does Matt do? What's your key and what's your goal when you have a podcast from A to Z?
Yeah, so like I'm very production heavy. Yeah. As you guys know, I'm very, very production heavy. So I want to make it look good, sound good, make it feel continuous. Mm-hmm. If I'm chopping things up, I really want to make it feel continuous, make it feel seamless, and cater to the viewer. Essentially, right? And especially in post-production. Yeah. But I feel like somewhere where I lack for sure is pre-production, and I think that's the most underrated stage of production, which is planning. You can do research on your guest, that's cool, but it's more like, what do people want to hear from this guest specifically? And it's not what I want to hear. Right? It's what people want to hear. And as much as I might want to ask them, what the fuck, did you do this or do that? It's the people might want to hear a little bit more about something else that you don't really give a fuck about. So you got to go from like a selfless point of view and really like just nail that down. But yeah, like from A to Z, I set up like everything to the nines. Like to the, like production wise, like cameras, audio, everything like that. When I'm with, shout out to my cousin I've had a couple different actually co-hosts, Marco, Matt, Andrew as well back in the day. When we're doing it, they're like, "Fuck, bro! Like you're really gonna do it." Like I go all out, right? Because that's what I like. Like,
you enjoy that.
Like when we start talking, it's fun and we shoot the shit and we have a good time. But like I really like how it looks. When I see it in post, I'm like, oh fuck, and it looks crispy. I'm like, oh yeah, bro, this is sick. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's where I get my joy out of. And eventually, I went from a point where I started really being production heavy, and then I was like, okay, I nailed the production. I gotta work on what we're talking about.
Got you.
I worked a little backwards.
The balance of it,
Most people start with, let's figure out what we're talking about. We got to get the guests, like whatever, figure out what we're gonna ask them, and then they worry about the production later, and that like the production takes a little bit of a hit. But I was working backwards. I don't know. I think it worked to my advantage, right? That's what I wanted to do. It's just something I loved.
You do what you like at the end of the day. It was a passion. And you go from there. And same thing with us. That's sick. And so I want to know from your perspective, like with all the guests you had today, what was something from an audience side of view that people engage the most in from your experience?
Honestly, clips wise, I would say eventually you become such a great host. Like don't get me wrong, I'm not the best host, and I'm not even close to the best host. But you come to a point where you understand what a viral hook is going to be, like for a clip, and you start it with that. You start like sentences and you phrase your wording accordingly. Does that make sense? And Hermosi's a big, I don't know, you know. Like Hermosi's a big,
Alex is crazy.
Like an inspiration for that. Like everything he says, the way he articulates himself is like a soundbite. Everything he says is a soundbite. You can take any point, connect the dot, and it'll be a fucking soundbite. Like you have to start speaking and articulate. Like on an average daily conversation, you won't get that. Like you have to condition yourself to be like that. Like I'll give you an example. Like we were talking about what the fuck was it? Kanye and Yeezy. Back in the day. When he made those Jewish remarks and ended up fucking whatever. So
backlash.
And he got crazy. He got canceled like right away. And Yeezy, Adidas didn't sign him or whatever.
That was crazy.
And around I was like, instead of saying like, oh, did you hear about that Kanye actually whatever? It was more like, so Kanye has a falling out with Adidas about no more Yeezys. What do you think? Like that's got to be like right away, right? Like when I think of that as a clip, that's the hook, that's the 3 seconds, and then we get into the topic, and then B-roll and stuff like that. But that's from like a post-production. Like my gears are turning all about post-production while I'm recording. So I'm thinking about what it's going to edit into as I'm saying it. Because I got to give context, right? Like if we stop talking about it or drift off and then go back to it later, it might not make sense. You're speaking in a different tone. You're not using the same level of energy that you were using when you first brought it up. Right, like there's tons of different little things that you have to keep in mind when you're doing that. But that's probably the biggest thing, man.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know that. That's pretty sick.
It's just because you're involved. Because then I go into post production after, and it's so much trial and error. You're like, you'll see that you'll start a convo about something, but you didn't really elaborate, and then you kind of drifted off, and you're like, oh fuck, like we need to talk about this. Like, why did we stop talking about this? But
love it.
And it's cool.
So what would you say to like someone that's like just starting out, like in your position, like a few years ago, wanting to do a podcast? Like what would you say to someone like that?
I would say it's much easier than you think, right? It's much easier to start a podcast, and anyone could start a podcast, right? But you have to realize that it's more than a full-time it's more than a part-time job. It's almost one full-time job if you're serious about it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty, but you guys understand that between, and this kind of goes with all like facets of production, like it's not just really podcasting specifically, but like between pre-production, planning, scheduling, outreach, equipment management, equipment maintenance, actual recording, storage management, like the list goes on and on and on, right? Like unless you have a team, a lot of people, what they do is they'll get a podcast now that they're a business, they'll set it up, they'll pay a company $1,000 to run their podcast a month, $2,000, whatever, and they'll do everything for them. But the people that are really trying to make it, you got to do it all on your own. So it's a lot of self-learning. It's a lot of time. That's the biggest thing. I would say take the time if you're really about that, and don't like I can't remember the stat. It was like 98% or 99.2% of podcasts only last up to like 6 episodes or something, or 2 episodes.
That's what Nima asked.
Yeah, Nima said that on our pod too. I think it was 7 or something like that.
Yeah, some stupid number, bro. It was ridiculous. It's like,
Yeah.
if you're not in it for 100, don't even start.
Exactly.
If you're not in it for 100 episodes, like myself, I needed to be in it for 100. I passed 100 after, like, the switch from Your Sister's Favorite to Refresh in the Feed. There was no break.
Wow.
It was the next week.
Just right away.
I launched the branding on the Wednesday, the Refresh in the Feed episode 1 on the Monday.
Wow. Yeah, you restarted the episodes.
Yeah, right away. I just started from back to 1. Right, it was the first episode, and we kept going. But like, if you're not in it for that time, bro, it's not worth it. It's not fucking worth it. You could shoot 200 because people think, like, a good example is Bobby Altov. You know what that is online? Yeah, bro. First episode's fucking like Drake and shit.
That's
like,
in a bed drinking wine. What?
Bro, like, what the fuck, man? That was like her second episode. Right? Like, and that was the biggest, probably one of the biggest podcast episodes that released that year.
Time, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe not as successful, like, views wise, but
Yeah.
still, because JRE is huge, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
at the same time, that's like, you're not going to have success like that, bro. Especially if you don't have no name. You know what I mean? You need at least 100. I would even say 200 episodes. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to come overnight.
Exactly.
People think, oh, yeah, I'm going to do 50 episodes. We're going to be fucking
Famous.
We're going to be famous and rich. You're going to drive. It's like, no, bro. You need at least 100. You've been doing this for fucking 2 straight years. Like,
No views.
no, literally no views.
No views.
You got to do it. And you got to just fucking, Gary V's another, I'm
Yeah.
a big Gary V fan. He says that you do in the shadows for 10 years until somebody figures it out. It's fucking, it's tough, man.
It's true.
It's tough to do.
It's true. It's
it's
a
worth
lot.
it.
Because you know what it is like, you know, there's that saying of like, you have to love what you do. And Gary says a lot too. It's
Yeah.
like, if you don't love what you do, you won't be good at it. You won't be successful. And then the other side of it's like, even if you love what you do, putting in the time isn't that easy all the time. Because sometimes you get burnt out. Sometimes you overdo yourself. Sometimes you feel like, fuck, I can't do it this week. I need a break. I'm going to redo it next week, regroup, change this. This doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, it's like, if you love it, you just can't quit. At the end of the day, if you don't give up, you keep going 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. If you love it, it's going to come eventually.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly, man. How old are you, by the way?
20.
20. And you?
19.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you guys, man. I mean, I say that like I'm old. I'm fucking 20. I'm 24, but
Yeah.
still, bro. Like, like when we're
At our ages, yeah.
yeah, bro. It's good to have this.
Yeah.
People don't have this luxury, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People are stuck in, they're stuck in the part times. Like,
Yeah.
you guys probably have full time or part time jobs,
sure.
or, you know what I mean?
For
And
sure. Yeah.
and they can't. A lot of people don't have that outside of the box thinking that they'll get out of that job,
Yeah.
right? Like, when I don't know, I'll give you a little bit of background. I was working at Chipotle,
Yeah, yeah.
in Vaughan there.
Wow.
I was doing that for 5 years, right? And I try to excel and do whatever I can to be the best at
Yeah.
everything I do. So Chipotle ended up being like one of the higher up managers, just beneath GM before I left. and I say it all the time, and I'm like, people get caught in that part time,
Yeah.
and they lose sight of what they could be doing while they're doing that.
Yeah.
Bro, you have no other obligations.
Or who they are, if anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you're stuck washing dishes and cleaning
Yeah.
and serving and doing all that shit.
Yeah.
Bro, there's so many ways right now that you can make money otherwise that people just don't understand. And it's we're sort of privileged to be able to just look at it and be like, oh fuck, there's all this opportunity.
Yeah. That you have the vision to.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
But
so
I feel
true.
like a lot of people, like especially like in the school system, they kind of like gear you towards like that 9 to 5 job instead
Yeah.
of like being your own boss and like just being like an entrepreneur?
100%. 100%. That's like the foundation of it, bro.
Yeah.
They want more people in the rat race. It wouldn't be called the rat race if there was no fucking rats in it, right?
Exactly.
They want more people in there, bro. They can't have above-minded, like, thinking people that are going to go the extra mile to make sure they're not there.
Exactly.
Right? And as much as people, you do have to get a full-time job in some cases, right? Like, whatever, if it's your passion, you're going to need a full whatever. Like, you have to run a business or do your full-time. But at the same time, it can be like, you take from that whatever you learned, and you take from that 9 to 5 and you apply it and evolve yourself into eventually you're an entrepreneur, you're expanding, you're doing your own thing. Like, like right now, that's where I'm at, just for reference, right? Like, I'm at a point where I'm learning so much, and my own thing doesn't involve me running a business. It doesn't involve me running a business right now, and I don't think it will involve me running a business, to be honest with you. What I want to do is so catered to my personal life. It doesn't involve me creating a fucking multi-billion-dollar corporation. Right? Like,
corporate
I'm going to make $1 billion, but I'm going to make it by myself.
Love it.
I mean? Just because that's what I want.
Yeah. You have the vision.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And the thing is, you're going for it. And I'm sure you can attest to this, is like, people in our generation, in our age group, or friends of friends, whatever, is like, when you see them doing the opposite, doing the rat race, and then you're like, yo, you should put yourself on social media, you should try to promote yourself, if this is what you like to do, you should try this. But I feel like in today's generation, everyone's like, it's not even confidence, like, they're just afraid to put themselves out there.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't want to worry about the feedback and what people are going to say to them. Yeah. And now look, now you're on the camera every week.
Yeah, bro. It's tough, man. The personal branding is the hardest thing. You got to find who you are, right? It's about, you have to dig deep and figure out, like, people can see through, like, a fake personal brand.
100%.
People can look right through it and be like, oh, you don't fucking do that shit. When I say I'm a tech guru, like, I like saying that.
Yeah.
I'm the fucking tech guru. Like, I'm all about tech. Everybody that knows me knows that I'm fucking tech down to my head to my toe.
Yeah.
You ask me about anything, I'm involved.
I think you got to call them next week.
Yeah. Like, I'm the fucking tech guy, bro. Like, that's what it is. People come to me for help. People come to me for, they're like, they want to start a podcast. They're like, I need an equipment list.
Yeah.
Because they know I'm that guy.
No way.
I've been asked for an equipment list, I swear to God, maybe 30 times for an equipment, like, shot, how the shots are set up and lighting and everything. And I'm like, bro, like, the equipment's cool, but I'm not there to execute.
Exactly.
You can just slap everything in a fucking room.
Yeah.
It's still gonna look like shit.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta
Facts.
you gotta do it proper.
Facts.
But yeah, that's
pretty sick.
It's trippy, but, you know, eventually you gotta nail down what it is, right?
Yeah. So let me ask you this: when you started your pod, the first one, and just putting yourself out there on social media in the first place, were you comfortable right at the get-go, or were you like,
no,
fuck, I'm putting myself on camera?
Yeah, no. So actually, the first 30 episodes of your sister's favorite podcast were all on the audio.
Audio, yeah.
Yeah, so it was easy.
So you were like covering yourself for a bit,
Yeah,
just doing
yeah.
audio. Yeah, I got you.
But bro, honestly, I get a little worried sometimes. I think back and I'm like, fuck it. Some of the shit we said on that podcast, we get canceled. Bro.
Yeah.
Not
That's what he
canceled,
says to me.
bro.
He's like, why did we say that? Edit it out.
Yeah, bro. I think about it now and I'm like, fuck. It's not really that bad, and like, there's nothing like actually cancelable.
Yeah,
but like,
it's on the line.
It's
on the line.
It's just not good. Like, for right now, what I would like to be perceived by the public as, it's just not the same way.
Got you.
Because we were just fucking around. We were kids, right? We were 17, 18.
You had a different mindset, you know?
Yeah, we were just talking about girls and fucking soccer and stupid shit, right? But it was, even if it was audio, like, I was so down for some reason. I was the only one out of my friends.
Yeah.
And shout out to my buddy Julian as well. He's an artist, a musician, that we were down to put ourselves out there.
Yeah.
Nobody was down. Nobody, like, some of my friends didn't even want their names in the bio.
Wow.
Like, in the description.
Wow.
They're like, there's no way, bro. They're like, you're lucky if people recognize my voice. Otherwise, I'm not being, like, I don't want to be involved like that.
Unknown.
Just because they're afraid of what people are going to think, right? But my buddy Julian and I, we kind of just said, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, fuck it, we're down.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, bring the smoke. You want to debate us, bro? Whatever we say, we stand by.
Come on the camera. We'll talk it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. No,
it's true.
That's what it was, man. That's
it's true.
Been for a while.
Exactly. And I think, like, I hope a lot of people change in that vision, because in today's world, like, from a business aspect or just as a personal aspect, if you're not putting yourself out there on social media, like it's not like our parents' time and so forth, like you meet people, you're online and this for like a lot of ways of meeting people now is through social media or like connecting with businesses, connecting with different ideas and understanding different ideas. So if you're not putting yourself out there, how are you going to do it?
Yeah.
You know?
I'm a big like supporter of personal interaction. So I'm a big supporter of like networking, shaking hands.
100%.
Like,
me too.
Yeah.
100%.
But I'm also, for people that don't understand, like especially the boomers wise, people that don't understand that, why would you sit and perform or on a stage? We're dealing with this with Nick right now, the CEO.
Yeah.
Why would you perform on a stage or go speak at an event with 50 people, 100 people, even a room with 2,000 people?
Yeah.
Right? When you can constantly hammer your audience, whether it's 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 people, right? Whether they see you for 10 minutes out of a fucking month, they've seen you on stage for 10. Yeah. And they didn't get to talk to you then. Yeah. The same thing goes. They didn't get to talk, they didn't get to shake your hand then. If you only shook maybe 5 hands out of 10,000 people, they just heard you talk for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
They didn't see you do whatever. But now online, they can see you talk for all fucking day, every day if you're hammering your socials. All day. They'll get to know you better. They'll get to know your family. They'll get to know what your lifestyle, the things you do, everything.
Exactly.
It's like, why wouldn't I do that?
Yeah.
I'm a fucking idiot if I don't do that. And people get to, if you actually aren't hiding anything and you're really truly about what you're selling or preaching or which products you're endorsing, like, and you have nothing to hide, there's no reason why you shouldn't be full force on Instagram.
Exactly.
Because people resonate with authenticity.
Yeah.
If I'm selling fucking, like, a stupid example, like if I'm a Barcelona fan, but I'm selling Real Madrid jerseys, and people are going to read through that shit. They see me watching a Barcelona game. Maybe what the fuck? What's wrong with this guy?
Why you supporting it?
You know what I mean? I'm sitting there in my fucking old Messi jersey, just chilling, watching a Barcelona. They're going to be like, what the fuck? But if I'm truly a diehard Real Madrid fan and I know exactly what I'm selling and the people know that this guy's about this fucking cult, like he's about this team, they're going to resonate with that.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't I go crazy on socials?
Exactly. Love it.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, is there anything that like you wish, like that you knew now and wish that you implemented it back when you were just starting out?
Like strictly just podcast based or everything creative based?
Marketing, creative, anything.
Honestly, I would say like ads is a cool one. Like digital ads are a cool one because you reach such a broader audience. Yeah. And like it's really putting your shit on the pedestal, but you have to have capital for that kind of thing. That's not really, but I'm thinking more of like just cultivating relationships with people that like you're targeting. Like I think that's one of the most important things that I would, looking back, that I always had like a head hunting mentality that I would go out and be like, I want you on my podcast, get the fuck in the studio. This is the email, this is the date, this is the time, I want you in. Like I need you on my podcast. I love what you do, blah, blah, blah. But I wasn't so calculated with my future plan. And that's what I think held me back. Not held me back a lot. It brought me still where I am. But that I would love to have had beforehand. Because I could pinpoint right now, if I were to do outreach to like 5 people that I really want that are attainable. Well, everyone's attainable, but like that I really, really wanted, I think it would blow my shit up right to the top.
Wow.
Strategically. Yeah. Strategically. Like I know, and not because of guilty by association where I've been with them, so everyone thinks I'm cool. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm going to put fucking Dwayne Johnson on my fucking pod, like The Rock on my podcast and go off. Yeah. And be like, oh, this guy did a pod with The Rock. Yeah. That's kind of the wrong clout. Yeah. You know what I mean? But there's influencers and people right now and businessmen that I really look up to that I would grab for an hour just to ask the hard-hitting questions that I feel would take me into the right direction. Like the long game, essentially.
Yeah. That's the best.
But
the long-term vision of that.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, bro.
Yeah, it is. And we were saying earlier, like the podcast, like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, no views. It's the long term. It's not short term.
Well, you could do it for 10 years. Views.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then you switch one thing and it's overnight.
Everything clicks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But do you believe, because obviously you have a lot of experience with the production side, do you believe that switch is going to come from production side of things, or it's going to become from engagement or the algorithm, or do you think luck? Just overall?
I think like it's probably I don't want to say 50-50.
Yeah.
I think it's like maybe 60-40
60-40.
in favor of production.
Yeah.
Versus the other side would be actual yourselves as conditioning, like the conditioning as like interviewers.
Yeah.
And the response and hierarchy and validity of the guest. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
It's a bit of a mix between the guests and
yeah, just a little bit. Like, if I have someone on that doesn't really like, I have experience and I'm sort of validated in the community as like the marketing guru and fucking social media guy and
your shit,
photographer, videographer. So
Yeah.
I, there's validity there that you can go look up, right? But if I don't have that validity to start with, then you're already in the negative. You're already backpedaling, right? Like it's not. But when those click with proper editing, that's what's the secret for a viral video. That's, don't get me wrong, the person that you're interviewing or the actual
for sure,
the host has to know what's up.
Yeah.
They have to be creating that actual conversation that's going to go viral.
Exactly.
But the editing is like 60% of it, I would say.
Wow.
Just a little more. Yeah. I want to give credit to the actual content, but the editing is 60. It's got to be engaging, man.
No, I agree. Like we've had amazing conversations, but sometimes if the editing or like from our knowledge, just starting out, we're like, fuck, we should have put this part, or like we should have organized it better and produced it this day and whatever. It's like, fuck, it would have done so much different.
There's also been like some episodes like where we really didn't do our research into like the guest, and like, we really didn't know how to really like get like information out of them.
Because we're like, oh, we're gonna go fully raw. Let's just try it out. And we're like, fuck, maybe we should have just, read up a little bit more.
Yeah.
You learn.
It's all part of it, bro. It's all part of the process, right?
Yeah. Sick. So let's talk, Matt, marketing director. How's it going between, obviously it's the lifestyle balance. So how's it go between your balance between your passion, your creative side, what you do, and I know we talked a little bit off camera. You're saying about how your personal brand is something you're trying to focus on in the future.
Yeah, for sure. So, I'm the marketing director for Spark Financial Group, and I'm basically the lead along with my partner Daryl in the marketing division that we oversee all the marketing initiatives for all of our like Spark and all of its subsidiary companies.
Yep.
So insurance, capital lending, mortgages, as well as the Wealth Club is in there now. The personal brands of the CEOs and executives. Trying to think, there's the podcast, What Would Cost podcast.
Yeah.
I don't think I can't think of anymore. All our Florida brokerage. Yeah. But yeah, we handle all that, right? We from A to Z between socials, web, graphic design, trying to think where else. Digital ads, things like that, Google ads. So we're involved in all that. We have a team that we're expanding actually right now.
Love it.
Getting a couple more people in. And it's been like I said at the beginning, man, it's been such a learning experience that I'm so grateful for, and I wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest with you. It's what I want to do, and it's the direction I wanted to go in right from the beginning, and I honestly wouldn't have had it any other way. With a shout out to Nick, a shout out to Mike, the CEOs of Fluent and Spark, and they're all co-founders of pretty much fucking everything. But if it wasn't for them being so marketing driven and outside the box thinking,
for sure,
my limitations would be so high. I'd be or so low. I wouldn't be able to go outside the box and really get creative, right? They allow me to they'll be like, come up with something cool, come up with something sick, cash giveaway. Well, the cash giveaways we were doing with Money Nice Happiness, that was already existing, but we'll give away fucking tickets to a Leaf game. We'll give away AirPods. We'll give away fucking this. We'll shoot we'll shoot a collab day where we get 10 of the biggest influencers in Ontario or Toronto, bring them into a studio. We'll shoot for 6 hours. We have content for 6 months.
Wow.
You know what I mean? That was my original idea with them. Right? We did that in February of, no, maybe it was a little later. It was like March of last year.
Okay.
Maybe even April. And I was like, listen, we get the fucking creators in here. We do because we were doing one-offs. We were having people come in.
One-on-one the pods and stuff like that, you're saying?
Or even just reels, with
the mic.
Bring them in, the mini mics. We're doing that, and I'm like, fuck, bro, this is, to get up every day and do this for an hour, it's this is kind of inefficient.
Gotcha.
Imagine if I were to just take all the people that we're trying to get on this mini mic things. Mind you, we still do mini mics all the time because it's got to be on the fly whenever it is. Somebody's in the office, you only get them for once. Influencer wise, I was like, bro, invite fucking 10 influencers, get them at the studio, grab them for 6 hours. They get value out of us. We're doing all the production, literally top to bottom.
Literally.
All they got to do is show up and just make the content.
Yeah.
How fucking easy is that?
Yeah.
And in return, all they do is they collab with us.
Yeah.
Right. And that was such a growing experience that I was like, holy fuck, you can batch like networking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Literally.
You can batch collaborations. It was so weird. You get them all in a room, and we had them scheduled so perfect, like an hour. We're just banging them pictures, photos, videos, reels, fucking everything, right? Now it gets a little tossy-turvy because we actually had an experience where we reached out to some influencers from the U.S.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, you have to go through an agency. It's gonna cost you upward. Like if
the corporate thing.
we were to do what we did with those influencers, they would have turned around and slapped us with $100,000 bill because there's so much content you get from that, right? And they charge you $2,000 a reel, $5,000 a long form video.
They have that all structured.
Yeah.
Wow.
They do the PR, the agencies, bro. It's crazy. Wow. Like if like
to the T.
Yeah, bro. Like if somebody were like a guest on the pod, they'd be like, okay, it's $5,000 for the pod, $250 or $500 a clip, and you got to pay me $7,500 if you're going to publish this many clips.
Yeah. I don't know who said it, just to cut you off there. I don't know who said, someone said if there's somebody who asks you to be paid for their time for collaboration and social media, don't ever do it. Or something like, unless it makes sense. Like, someone said that don't, like, there's no reason why you should get them, by value of money or some term like that. And you reminded me of that. Yeah,
I'm a big supporter of collaboration, obviously.
Yeah.
Bro, like going now to my personal brand, I'm gonna be doing it on my own for the most part, right? Like I want to make all this content by myself.
Yeah.
As much as I would love to collaborate and do things like this pod and other things, but I really want to just tackle it on my own. You have to build that validity first.
Exactly.
Right? Like I can't just fucking start doing collabs everywhere.
Yeah.
People have to know me for something.
Exactly.
Right. So that's got to be the main driving factor first before you do anything else.
Love it. And so if you don't mind me asking, with the personal brand, what's the vision in terms of what you want to put out there? Have you had like a
So goal? I have 4 pillars.
Okay.
It's podcasting, photography, and videography, tech reviews /
Cool.
whatever. Wait, I said podcasting, right?
Yeah.
What was my third one? Post-production.
Sick.
So editing, things like that. Not just like shooting. Like videography and photography is like shooting, and then post-production as well.
Love it.
Yeah, so those are going to be like my 4 main pillars, but I'm going to do I'm also going to have like not a burner, but another account where I'm really passionate about travel and like documenting all that and like travel photography, travel videography.
It's so sick. I love it. It's so fascinating, those videos.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Drone stuff, drone work, all that fun stuff. And then I'm going to be like posting on there as well.
Sick.
Yeah, so that's like, I told you I'm going to Europe this summer.
Yeah.
I want to do a trip every year where I can get that type of content and then just blast on the page for reference. I went to Europe 2020, just before COVID, 2019.
Okay.
I went to Europe with my cousin for 2 weeks or 2.5, 3 weeks, and I had 9,000 photos that I was able to sort through, and I was still not done. Wow. And I was posting them like one a day for like 2 years on my stories. Those, I don't know if you ever seen my POTDs. Post of the day. I stopped doing them now because I'm launching, and I'm gonna go hard right from July 1st. But I was doing those like every day for like 2 years, and I still have so many.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's crazy.
Where would you say would be like the coolest place to go travel?
Europe-wise?
Anywhere.
Based where I've seen, honestly, I would love to go to Dubai.
Yeah, bro.
Dubai apparently is a movie.
You gotta go.
Yeah, I'd love to go to Dubai. That, like, where I haven't been is probably Dubai. Where I have been,
in terms of content too,
I would definitely say Amsterdam's trip. Amsterdam's like a really like, it's not even like, oh yeah, slimy like red light district, weed everywhere. It's like like, it's almost like a haven. Like it's just not even, it doesn't even feel real when you're there. Everybody's on bikes. Weather's amazing for the most part, and like all these canals, and it's just like, it doesn't feel like you're in a real place. Yeah. These houses are all perfect. Like like it's so weird. Yeah. But that's another one. London's cool too, but I would say Amsterdam for sure.
Yeah.
It's the best place.
That's pretty sick. I've never been there yet, but I'll tell you from experience, Dubai, even for content and stuff, like it just doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel real.
They're moving and shaking over there, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You hear tons of stuff that comes out, dude, about no taxes.
Yeah, I know.
Beautiful. Like, get me over there.
Incentives there are crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I'd love to go. I'd love to
Yeah.
go and spend some time there.
Yeah, that's sick. So, Matt, tell me, do you believe in a lifestyle balance? And if so, what does it consist of in your day-to-day?
I do. I think that, what's this called? What's that thing called? That fucking thing.
What? Oh, the
scale?
The scale,
It's
the
a scale,
balancing.
but it's called something specific. I don't fucking
Fuck, we should know
I
this.
can't remember. I can't remember.
He's testing us.
I think it's a scale.
It's
no,
a
there's
scale.
a name for it, though.
Yeah, I don't
Balancing
remember,
scale.
bro. I don't blame you for not knowing.
Yeah,
It's like
fuck.
it's like the weirdest name.
Yeah,
I'll
it
look
is.
up
It
after,
is.
But like that definitely has to like shift in a lot of times.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it has to shift, and it can't always be perfect, and it
Yeah.
won't always be perfect. And as much as you try, it won't be perfect, right? So the only thing is you have to maintain a certain level of shift that you're comfortable with. And there's like right now for myself, I know that I'm in a state where my work is really taking a toll on me, and really bringing this one side of the scale down. But I know that as I'm evolving and getting so much better,
Yeah.
by day, by literally minute, I know that that's going to start coming up, and I'll have time to focus on the things that are on the other side: fitness, health, mental health, wellness. There's a bunch of things that go
Yeah.
hand in hand, right? So,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you know Zark,
Yeah.
our life coach. We've worked with him and sort of nailing down our wheel of life, which is
Love it.
breaking down to spokes, which
Yeah.
that's a part of it as well. And I think getting that wheel to be perfectly round is virtually impossible, but trying is definitely possible, right? So there's so many things that you can do to make sure. Honestly, bro, I'm a big family guy.
Yeah.
I really love spending time with my family, and that's what comes first. And the times that it doesn't come first, which I can't say it always does, but the times that it doesn't come first, I'm doing something that's going to be for them,
Yeah.
right? Like
What's
like,
into it?
yeah. If it means retiring my parents,
Yeah.
getting my grandparents out of their house, getting them a bigger house,
Yeah.
whatever it is, everything I do that's not with them is for them.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
But yeah, man.
It's amazing. So tell me, Matt, before we let you go, because you have a sick hoodie on, if the people
yeah,
can't see it, the Wealth Club.
Yeah.
Maybe tell a little bit what that is, and then we're going to link everything.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about the Wealth Club. Actually, I can't stop fucking talking about it, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah?
Yeah, everybody I speak with, I'm really like bringing it up because I get behind causes that I think are really valuable.
Yep.
Right, and this is one cause that I think is compared to other communities on school. So basically, the Wealth Club is a school platform, a school community that we have a bunch of different ambassadors from fitness, marketing and networking, business and entrepreneurship, personal development, cryptocurrency, and sports betting. We have all those ambassadors that are housed into one community and that are just constantly providing value to people that are in the community involved, going to the Zoom calls, engaging, things like that. And to be honest, bro, just shooting with the guys, like I do all the content for it, right? So I'm involved in all the videos, photos, everything behind the scenes. Just shooting with them, you're able to see how much value they provide in their respective space.
Yeah.
Right? Because I can go, for reference, I can start a community tomorrow.
Yeah.
And give everybody advice about podcasting, videography, photography, but I'm capped at what I know.
Yeah.
Right? I'm capped because I try to be a chameleon and I try to do everything, but I'm capped at what I know. Why wouldn't I get a videographer that's been doing it for 10 years, sit him in the driver's seat in videography? Why wouldn't I get fucking Joe Rogan, put him in the driver's seat for podcasting?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't I do that? And that's what this is.
Wow.
With those respective fields, with the community that we have and the connections that we have, we're able to pull together these amazing guys that are going to be providing all this value. I'd like to think I'm providing some value for myself in the community, but
amazing.
These guys that are going to be doing the one-on-one Zoom calls, the monthly Zoom calls with all the members, they're providing so much value. And if I didn't think the value was there, I wouldn't be such a supporter. Even though I am involved behind the scenes, I wouldn't be like, you have to join us. But after seeing and being a part of it, you just talk to them for like 10 minutes, it's like, fuck, you got to be a part of this. You have to be a part of this community. And you're not. We're not charging you fucking $1 million, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this value, it's $1 a day. It's $30 a month. right?
sick.
It's so easy for people. You spend more of that on your fucking Spotify. Like, you know what I mean? Like
For real.
it's ridiculous, right? Like it's such a cheap subscription. I don't even know one meal is $30 nowadays, bro.
I know. If
Well,
that.
you know what I mean? You get a fucking 2 drinks, it's like $40. It's done, bro.
It's so true.
But yeah, I'm
Love
excited for it. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. We're going to link everything there. We're going to link Matt's info, the pod. He's coming up with his personal brand. We'll be shouting that
sir.
out for sure. So thank you for coming on, Matt. Appreciate you, brother. And look forward to talking in the future.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate
Anytime.
it.
Anytime.
Thanks, bro. Good time, man. Sick.